Scar! Brother, help me!
Can we ever forget or forgive this scene? Sweet little Simba padding up to Scar, crying big tears, begging his Uncle Scar to help, to tell him it's not his fault, that it will all be alright in the end. The horror in Mufasa's eyes. In this video, we're going to dive deeper into the movie Mufasa, the Lion King, specifically into the character of Scar. Millions of us around the world are desperate to see if our hero Mufasa created the perfect villain in this treacherous so-called brother, Scar. The trailer has ignited excitement among the fans with its captivating glimpses of our childhood friend Mufasa. Set as a prequel to Disney's iconic The Lion King, the movie explores the early life and mind of Mufasa, the noble lion destined to be king, before plunging beneath the precipice and saddening us forever. The trailer reveals the lush, warm, sunny, flowing landscapes of the Pride Lands, the soft greens and yellows, the grasses and trees and marshes, the power and movement of the lions and elephants and hippos. It makes us happy to be alive. Rafiki, the mandrill shaman, then promises to tell us how handsome Mufasa and the prince who would come to be known as Scar would come to be as brothers. Later, sweet, innocent Taka spots Mufasa drifting on a log in a lake. There has been a flood of biblical proportions shattering their world. Taka asks Mufasa his name. Taka's mother scolds her son for not waiting for her, but Taka bravely stands up to his mother. "We can't just leave him here," he tells his mom. Taka's mother insists on abandoning Mufasa. The rules are the rules, and that the king will never accept a stray. But Mufasa disagrees. He is not a stray, he is just lost. Mufasa meets King Asaba, but the king insists that Mufasa is an outsider and that their bloodline needs to be protected. Taka interrupts his father, telling him that he saved Mufasa's life. Flashback to a crocodile opening his jaws wide under the murky water. So, isn't it ironic that Taka saved Mufasa's life? Isn't it strange that Taka, the hero, turned into Scar, the traitor? Why did Taka, the hero of Mufasa the Lion King, kill Mufasa, the hero of the Lion King? Why did Taka betray Mufasa's trust, and why did Taka ignore Mufasa's last desperate cry for help? Mufasa is the perfect father. He saves his son, but he puts his own life on the line. Scar then becomes a traitor, betraying a lifetime of friendship. But why? Why does Scar betray his brother? Somewhere along the line, Mufasa has to take some of the blame for the character development of Scar. How did Mufasa change his brother's love into hatred? How did Mufasa become so ungrateful? Shouldn't we hate Mufasa for being a hero and shaming his brother into killing him? In Mufasa, the Lion King, Mufasa and Taka become best friends. They admit to each other that they always wanted a brother. Their dream has come true, and they run together across the grass, nuzzling each other. This is all very sweet indeed, so where did it go wrong? Taka's mother accepts Mufasa into their pride and tells Mufasa that he and Taka together are home. The sight of the two lions looking into each other's eyes as the sun goes down on the grassland is heartwarming. She tells them to find their place in the circle of life. So, is this why Taka killed Mufasa? Did Mufasa somehow break the circle of life by taking Taka's place as the rightful heir to the Pride Lands? The two brothers then come across a pride of white lions. Their king, Treacherous, announces that there can only be one Lion King. The circle is broken. Ishi tells Mufasa to flee and sacrifices herself. Later on, Mufasa becomes the leader, taking Taka's rightful place. He tells the pride that they must fight together. He promises to protect his brother Taka, but instead he takes charge, taking precedent in the circle of life. Nevertheless, who could believe that one day Mufasa will beg Taka to save him, and that Taka will instead hurl him off a precipice into an onslaught of stampeding wildebeest? Until this point, there is no villain. Taka and Mufasa are inseparable. So, what did Mufasa do to make Taka hate him? Why would our hero Mufasa do a thing like that? What did Mufasa have to gain from turning Taka into a villain? Now, we've discussed the trailer, let's delve deeper into Mufasa's story. Mufasa has been separated from his parents and has ended up in unknown lands. Here he meets Taka and they become friends. In The Lion King 1994 and in Mufasa The Lion King 2024, Mufasa is strong, brave, beautiful, loyal, and good. He is blameless and heroic. Mufasa is foregrounded in both movies, a symbol of goodness, a true king in contrast to Taka or Scar, who begins good but sells his soul to ambition and falls from grace. Scar is so bad and Mufasa is so good that it is indeed tempting to believe that Mufasa created the perfect villain in him. Could Mufasa exist without Scar? God and the angels without the Prince of Darkness and the demons? Good without evil? Doesn't one have to create the other in order to exist? Now that we get the gist of Mufasa's character, let's take a look into Scar himself. Taka is a good and loyal friend, or so it seems. He takes an instant liking to Mufasa, seeing in him a kindred spirit, a brother, and saving his life from the crocodile. But on the other hand, Taka is a rebel, a rule breaker. To save his friend, he introduces him to the pride. In doing so, Taka disobeys his father. He endangers his bloodline, his claim to become king, and his pride. He breaks the circle of life. And based on the movie The Lion King 1994, we all know what happens when the circle of life is broken. Taka then becomes corrupted, traumatized, and his nature and even his name is changed to Scar. It is clear that Mufasa and Taka are two sides of the same coin. Mufasa could not exist if there was no Taka or Scar, and vice versa. Just like good and evil feed off of each other. Just like good stories also feed off evil and bad stories. Imagine how boring The Lion King would be if all the lions were as perfect as King Mufasa. Okay, so far we see that Mufasa is painted as the good guy and Taka is the evil guy. Now let's take a look at a few characters who could change the path of the young cubs. Rafiki returns in Mufasa, The Lion King, as the weird sage and narrator. Then there's Ishi, the enigmatic lioness and mentor to the young Mufasa. Her deep knowledge of the Pride Lands guides and protects Taka and Mufasa as they grow up. Ishi sacrifices herself so that they will live and so that the pride will survive. Her death is a necessary link in the circle of life. So why do Rafiki and Ishi exist in the trailer to Mufasa, The Lion King? Simply because Rafiki is the one that understands the meaning of life and the significance of the circle of life. He is the one that understands why Mufasa had to die, why Scar had to kill Mufasa, why Simba had to kill Scar in turn. There can only be one hero at a time, one heir to the circle of life, and there have to be countless sacrifices so life can reproduce itself. One of them being Ishi, the mother that sacrifices herself so that her offspring might live. Treacherous is the villain and Mufasa, the Lion King. He injects danger and tension and evil into the mixture, disrupting the balance of power in Pride Lands and reminding us about the destructive rule of Scar to come. Treacherous is a murderer, slaughtering Ishi the lioness and threatening the same to the two young cubs. It's possible that he played a role in scarring Taka and turning him into Scar and passing his curse onto him. Mufasa creates the perfect villain in Taka, but Treacherous surely played his part in teaching him how to kill. The rift between Mufasa and Taka emerges because there can only be one leader. The two movies suggest that Taka is not born evil, he is scarred, turning into Scar. In other words, Mufasa creates the perfect villain by being good. So all that we are saying is that Mufasa is true to himself, but untrue to Taka. By taking his seat as the rightful king, Mufasa has natural leadership skills that earn him the adoration of lions in the Pride Lands. Mufasa and Scar have polarized understandings of the nature and life. Mufasa tells Simba that the land belongs to no one, but it is yours to protect, and that life is about giving. Scar, on the other hand, abuses his power because some are born to feast, others are born to serve. This is why Taka's connection to the hyenas and the caves and the darkness unleashes and gives power to his darkest impulses. His betrayal and murder of Mufasa and his destruction of the bloodline through Simba separate him from childhood and from the goodness that once existed inside of him and sealed his fate. Only Simba can rekindle the fire, heal the pride, and mend the circle of life. Scar's only source of power is the hyenas that bring him to power but drain the blood of the land in return. But it is Mufasa that turns Scar against his own species, because the lions could tolerate only one king. To be honest, we are not saying that Mufasa is responsible for Taka's transformation into Scar, but we are saying that both Mufasa and Taka made bad decisions. These decisions influenced Taka into becoming Scar. Scar himself made unforgivable decisions, like ignoring his brother's tears and his horror and abandoning cute little Simba in his moment of greatest need. How could he be so cruel? Mufasa, on the other hand, is a true guardian of the circle of life. Like Eastie before him, he gave his life to save a cub. But what we are trying to say is that the relationship between Mufasa and Taka, or Scar, is complicated because there can only be one king. In The Lion King, that ruler is Mufasa, and rightly so. Mufasa is good, strong, and true, but so was Taka once upon a time. It is hard to be overshadowed, easy to feel neglected. Scar exists in order to justify Mufasa's rightful claim to the throne, even though he's not of royal blood. He also exists so he can make the story of the Lion King great. The Lion King needs a diabolical king of hyenas to justify his existence. Let us know your thoughts about Mufasa and Scar in the comments below. Until next time.